Good morning, friends. I'm Chris from Worthington Home. I thought it would be fun today to mix things up and to do a little thrifting out of my home state of Connecticut. So we're headed to Rhode Island. It's about an hour and a half to where we're going. And I'm wondering if the thrifting is as good there as it is here. Let's find out. It's a beautiful day for a drive, and our first stop is going to be West Warwick, Rhode Island. We're going to start at Salvation Army because it's the store that opens first. They have a lot of really pretty clear glass, a lot of nice pressed glass pieces here. So I'm just looking closely to see if there's anything really spectacular. I like these candlesticks. This is a beautiful pressed glass plate. There's two of these. Isn't that design so lovely? I really like pressed glass. This is a little decorated cranberry scoop, and I like this plate a lot, and it's Lenox. Not for food use. Good to know. We won't eat food on it. Very pretty. I know this little shape sorter. I sold one of these once before, but this one is missing its shapes. So not too much point in having it, I suppose. Oh yes, this just might be a keeper. I've never felt more like myself in my life. What a pretty side table with a marble top. This is only $24.99. That is a steal for somebody who needs a side table. This is a cute pillow. There's a lot of fading on the back of it, so I'm not ultimately going to buy this for $1.99, but I think it's really sweet. There's some Afghans and other pretty blankets here. I'm just going to thumb through those. And now we're in a very small china section. These are so dirty. This is John Maddock and Sons little set here, very pretty with the blue floral rim. We've got some brown and white. This is Royal Wellesley, USA, and some very pretty blue and white that has definitely got my attention. So I'm going to consider these. This is actually Wedgwood. There's a pair here. This is a beautiful plate, but also a sad friend. No sad friends today. And this really pretty like coach scene. This is a nice little treasure trove, and I think some of these, if not all of them, are going to come home with me. I found a few things. It wasn't a bonanza of finds, but enough for me to say it was time well spent. And now we're on our way to the next destination. So we're going to Mike's Estate. This is supposed to be a really cool place. It's not far away in West Warwick, Rhode Island. This is such a cool old building. Oh my goodness. Estate Services, consignment. Here's the sign in case you want to see it. And now for the good part, let's go check it out. The very first thing I'm seeing is this pair of eagles sculpture. It's like they're fighting mid-flight. This is a museum piece. It's astonishingly beautiful, $8,500. Amazing. We're just gonna walk through this store. Check out the old National Register. Oh my goodness, Eric and I have two National Registers, but ours are not this fancy. Wow. This was an important piece of technology in somebody's store back in the day. I'm obsessed with these Henry VIII and his wives figurines. They are so fabulous. I love the Tudors. They're about $200 a piece. And for the purposes of this segment, I'm always going to talk about the initial listed price. Prices go down over time because this is a consignment store. This is a beautiful tufted leather sofa. I like the horse painting above it. There's so many beautiful, very high quality things here. It's really fun to check them out. This reproduction painting is so eerie. It's called The Last Evening, and it's supposed to be the night before the Titanic sunk. So cool. $350. This is a beautiful set of blue and white china. It is blue Danube, and there's so many pieces here. This is really a full set for somebody who wants a total collection. Just curious about the price of this. So the initial price is $650. I love this statue. It's a jockey on a horse, as you can see, and I've always wanted a piece of large-scale artwork like this for the bay window in the dining room. This one's $16.95 listed price. I'm not going to pick this up, but someday I hope to find just the right piece. It's always so nice to see Roseville. I don't know what it is about the shapes and colors and patterns of Roseville that always speaks to me. I think you can appreciate how big this store is by looking at all of the large-scale furniture inside of it. This place is huge. These are lovely wall sconces. Love the shape on these. $100 initial price. They are so pretty. These would tempt me, except I recently picked up a pair, which I will show you in a future video, so stay tuned for that. We're going to go upstairs now to the second floor and see what they have. This is an interesting bench. I think this belongs on the Game of Thrones set. What do you think? Here's a beautiful carved chest. There's so much detail in this. I wonder if the figures are worried about having a dragon so nearby, especially when they're made of such a flammable substance. $3.95 initial price on this piece. Let's take just a moment and get a bird's eye view so you can see how many things are in this store. And then we're going to focus a little bit on this wall that has so much artwork on it, including Mary Pickford looking very perky with a little yellow bird. $125, but 50% off. I like this bird print. It almost looks like a vintage postcard or similar. It's got great colors. $40 initial price on this. I love this watercolor painting. I think this is an original and it's signed. $60. It's really beautiful. I don't know Chad Kearney or his work, but this looks like such a quintessential New England scene. This is clearly the sampler section or the embroidered section of the wall art. It's interesting to see so many pieces together. I like the pattern on this one. Initial price, $60. This looks like a really old one that was never finished. I can see some dates that start with 1814. Looks like there were big plans for this piece that did not come to fruition. $100 initial price on this. A lot of history here. This humongous wall tapestry is absolutely stunning. Pretty little side table here. I like the medallion inlay on that. I have very similar tables in my library. Seems well made. I'm also noticing a lot of sold signs on furniture, which tells me that things get snapped up pretty quick here. I love the Victorian chairs, of course. This is such an interesting shaped bench, and I'm on the hunt for a bench for my bedroom, but I'm not looking for like the kind of arms that are on the sides here. $329 initial price. It's really close, but not quite what I have in mind. Check out the big collections of vintage books. These are probably antique. And look at the color. I don't want to even think about what was put into the dye to create this color. These are books that I would definitely not lick. Not that I'm into licking books, you understand. And some old typewriters. I love the detail on this table. Isn't it pretty? It's wood or wood-like. It's got such a nice tollwork effect. $165 initial price on this beautiful table. French furniture isn't something I know really anything about. It's a very specific look, isn't it? But I think this is a beautiful piece of furniture. This is a 3-drawer chest. Beautiful. Oh my goodness, if I had a space for this, it would come home with me. Isn't that fabulous? It's so Victorian. Oh my gosh, I love the shape of this. A wicker conversation seat. You could definitely have a good, juicy gossip sitting here with somebody on a hot summer's evening. This is a great lamp if you're looking for a really fun, quirky conversation piece. I love the colors. I love the uniforms. I don't love the shade, but of course that's easily corrected. $40 to start this price. We're going up even another floor. This place keeps going and going. Oh my gosh, where do I even start? This is such a sweet print. A child shall lead them. I don't like my children quite so close to possibly hungry lions. I don't know about you. Yikes. Here's a beautiful collection of Evesham. There are so many pieces here. I love the olives in particular. Nice asparagus. There's all kinds of serving pieces that go along with it. 50% off, $450. Here's another gorgeous set. I promise I'm not going to focus too much more on Chinas. Just bear with me if you're not a China person. This is Villeroy and Bach. Burgenland. I've never seen this pattern. It is really, really beautiful. And some of the serving pieces are so special. I'm going to show you those in just a second. $750 initial price. Looks like this set's been here a long time. Take a look at this scene inside the bowl. Isn't that gorgeous? Wow, if I needed china, this would really tempt me. These pheasant glasses are fabulous. They're hazel atlas. Love the look of these. They would be so pretty at like a Thanksgiving table or just as part of general fall decor. There's quite a few of them. This is also a huge collection of Franciscan desert rose. I don't think I've ever seen a teapot in this pattern before, and I've never seen glasses that match, which is a really nice effect. This initial price was $500. I've been wanting a fireplace grill or fender for my front parlor, but I need to measure mine so I know exactly what fits. Someday I'm going to find the perfect piece. It's one of those things I am on and off on the hunt for. Check out this humongous spinning wheel. Wow. That's amazing. Couldn't you just see that in front of like a huge colonial hearth? It seems like a museum piece. 125 initial price. Looks like it needs some work, but it's fabulous. There are lots of beautiful throw pillows in the store, and they're really well made. They all have cording and trim and really pretty embellishments on them. I'm not in the need for any throw pillows right now. None of these are quite the right colors for my house, and they're too high to resell, but it's fun to look through them. Oh, this is so beautiful. Oh my goodness. These are shams and they're embroidered with this fabulous floral pattern. Oh my gosh, the backing is velvet. $60. I'm gonna have to look at this closer. Oh my goodness. Well, I have nowhere for this, so I'm not gonna buy them, but wow. So it's a pair. These are stunning. There's some fading around the velvet, but I think that adds to the charm. If I could think of anything to do with these, they would be going home with me for sure. These red velvet curtains are so soft and supple and fabulous. I am drooling, not on them, but near them. Let's see what the price is. 35 initial price for the pair. This is such a lovely needlework piece. I'm not sure if this is meant to be a rug or a wall hanging or what exactly I'm looking at here, but the colors are so beautiful. I love the rose. This is like springtime looking at me. $50 initial price. That is not cheap, but I do really like it. So I'm going to give this some serious thought. These are a beautiful collection of Gorham plates. There are 8 of them, and they all depict different birds. And again, I know I keep saying it, but these would be fabulous for somebody's fall decor. And there's another one. We have a nice set of carolers here. I had some carolers on my eBay store for a while, and I just sold the last 2 very recently. Nice to see them. Eric finds them incredibly creepy, but I think they're cute. And I also really like this mirror. It is $150. Interesting candle sconces. $30 initial price. They're actually metal. They look like wood. They look like painted wood specifically. I kind of like them. This is fabulous souvenir ware from Atlantic City, and the oldest piece I think I've ever seen. It's from 1894. I think most of the pieces I see are very early 1900s. They want $75 for this. Too rich for my blood. Well, that was a lot of fun. I found a lot of interesting things, and now it's time to make our way out. Our last stop of the day is going to be Savers, which is in nearby Warwick, Rhode Island. So we should be there shortly. This is an interesting heart-shaped chicken for $6.99. It's cute, but I'm gonna leave it. I just saw somebody repurpose a spoon holding rack into a necklace display case, which I thought was a fabulous idea. This one is $5.99 and I'm not gonna do it, but again, I can appreciate the idea. This is what Indy would look like if he had way too much coffee. He'd be all bug-eyed and ready to pounce. And this is kind of sweet, but I'm not sure what it would be used for. I don't know what you're supposed to hang from that string. $5.99. Well, this is clearly a priceless antique from the early colonial days. I think this belongs in a museum. Am I right? This is such a pretty bowl. There's actually a pair of them, $9.99 for the two, Williams Sonoma. Too much money. I can't decide if I like this bowl or dislike this bowl. There's certainly a lot going on, and I don't like all that sort of splattery effect inside the bowl. So it's interesting, but I think a no. And they have a pretty Lenox bowl in a very classic pattern, but $24.99 is ridiculous. We've got some Villeroy and Bach. I don't find that out and about very often. This was a good pickup. There are a lot of textiles here today, and my camera battery is about to die. I'm going to show you what I can before I run out of battery altogether, but I love these curtains, and I used to have them in Zach's playroom several houses ago. It is so fun to see so much of it here. It brings me right back. As suspected, my camera died, but that's okay because I think we still got some good footage. I picked up lots of interesting things, and I'll show you when I get home. I'm so glad I decided to travel off the beaten path and check out a few stores in Rhode Island. Now, I had done that because a good friend of mine had recently gone to that big estate sale store that I showed you in the footage, and she highly recommended it, and she felt pretty strongly that I needed to check it out immediately. And I'm so glad I did. But let me start with Salvation Army because that was my first stop. That was in West Kingston. And there wasn't a lot there. I mean, it's always fun to look, but I did pick up a few things that I thought were fun, including this very pretty Lenox dish that features a hummingbird. So this is called Jeweled Glory, and it's really just a decorative plate. It's not for serving food, but I like the pretty spring colors. So I thought that was a fun pickup. Here's the pretty Lenox decorative plate with the hummingbirds. I like that it has this little signature on the bottom as well. The colors are really kind of soft and kind of neutral despite those pops of reddish pink in the flowers. I like the purple flowers behind it as well. I think this was a nice find. I also got this pretty blue plate that shows the Clipper ship. I love blue and white together. I think they're such a beautiful combination. This says Historical Ports of England, and it says Bristol, Hull, Ramsgate. I mean, it has lots of different names of British ports, I guess. But just another pretty blue and white. This one I think is my favorite. I've seen this pattern or something similar in brown and white, but I like it even more in blue and white. And Indy is here with me now, but I love this carriage scene. Oh, it's called Coaching Scene. This is a Johnson Brothers pattern. And I absolutely adore Johnson Brothers. So I picked that one up. And then, sorry, Indy. Okay, these are really interesting two blue and white plates. If you're sensing a blue and white theme, I bet these all came from the same house. But these are Wedgwood plates depicting scenes from Washington, D.C. And I thought they were beautiful. So this one is the Bell Tower at Valley Forge. And then this one is the Memorial Continental Hall. So a nice little stash of vintage plates. And these are all going to be available for sale on my eBay store, probably. And if they don't get picked up there, they'll end up in my booth space. Here's a display of the blue and white china plates that I picked up, all set out together here in the bay window of the dining room. And even though they all have different images on them, I think their blue and white tones look nice together. And I especially like blue and white in the summertime. I think it's beautiful all year round. But something about it, especially in the summer, really, really speaks to me. But of course, the absolute best stop was the estate sales store that I showed you. Iris is in a bag right now. The prices were definitely high. I would say you could find those things for much less other places. But with that said, the store itself was in a historical building. Everything was laid out. It was huge. It was organized. There were lots of really helpful staff members around, and it was a pleasure to go through it. So I can appreciate that when you have a place like that, you have bathrooms and all kinds of, air conditioning and heating and everything's fancy, you're gonna pay more. Sometimes it's worth it. And this was one of those times, in my opinion. So if you go, and I recommend that you do, just be prepared for higher prices, but a really fun experience. So I went back and forth on this one piece because I thought it could look so nice in my guest bathroom on the second floor. The color seemed so good. So I picked this up. And this has a great needlepoint look. I do not believe this is handmade because it has a tag on it. And it says Cathadiddle Home Collection, New York. And I did see similar kinds of things on eBay for less money than I was paying, but this was the nicest of the things that I saw, even on eBay. So I decided to bite the bullet and go for it. So I love the colors in this. I love the pattern in this. I think it has a great classic look. One question I have is how to get this piece to lie really flat, because it has a little bit of a, kind of not wrinkled, but a little bit buckled here and there in a way that seems like it should come out. So if you have any tips for me, I would love to hear them. But my plan is to make this into a wall hanging. So I've gotten a little dowel and finial set, and I'm gonna find a way to attach it. So I'll sew something on the back so that this can hang up in the bathroom. And I think it will add a little bit of color and softness and interest in an otherwise kind of uneventful space. So of course, I will show you how that turns out. The Amazon truck just came, and this is what I had ordered for the wall hanging. But this is what I actually received in the mail. So you can see this flannel back tablecloth is not gonna help me at all in hanging that tapestry. So I'm gonna have to improvise. And here's what I came up with. I found this little dowel rod hanging around the house, and I just made this little backing. It's really clumsy and ugly looking, but it actually is gonna serve the purpose just fine, I think. I just need Eric to cut the dowel to size. Here's the finished wall hanging in the bathroom. I think it looks pretty here. It's right behind the door. Can't back up anymore. Here, that shows you a little bit better. I had really wanted to put this, I don't want to spin too fast here. I had wanted to put it over here on this wall, but I had forgotten about the towel bar. And this towel bar is so annoying because it's broken. The plastic veneer has come off, which is not attractive. We should address that in some way. I don't know quite how, but it would have looked really good hanging down this way, except for the towel bar. So with that in mind, I worked it out and found another spot. And I think this is very pretty as well, if not exactly what I was going for. I don't know, friends. What do you think? Is this a yay or a nay? The other thing I went back and forth on and eventually did buy was this pair of massive velvet drapes. These are the most unbelievably soft velvet drapes I have ever touched. I think the softest velvet, full stop, I've ever touched. It is absolutely gorgeous, and this fabric can be used in so many incredible ways. So I really want to think about how to use this to its best advantage. I was thinking initially throw pillows, maybe a runner, just lots of different kinds of projects. But yeah, I think I just need to ponder before I commit myself to anything. But it's a lot of fabric. And so I thought for that much fabric, and because the quality was so unusually high, I had to go for it. And so I picked these up, and they will go in the project pile. We all know the project pile is very large, but I would not be able to justify the actual expense of that fabric. Just that fabric alone would be several $100s, which I would never pay. So to deconstruct curtains that are in excellent shape and make them into something else with that excellent high quality fabric was too good not to try. So afterwards, I decided I had time for one more stop, and I decided to go to Savers. Now, I know it seems probably a little bit unexciting to be somewhere new like Rhode Island and go to some of the same big thrift stores that we already have in Connecticut, but I'm always so interested to compare them to see how they might be the same or how they might be different. It's just too tempting not to check them out. And I found in general not a lot of great things at Savers. Like the Savers in Connecticut, there were a million people in there. The prices were higher than I think they should be, but that's just my opinion. Other people might feel differently. But I did have success in the linen section, and I was very, very pleased with what I picked up. So let me show you what I got. I found this great green Mexican style throw blanket. Eric and I have 3 of these from Mexico that we've picked up over the years, and we love them. And I think the colors on this one is really, they're so pretty. I love the green. It's in great condition. It's super soft, and I was really excited to find it. I also found, oh my gosh, I think this one's really, really good as well. I picked up this Tapestry throw blanket that has all kinds of like Celtic symbols in it. At least I think that's what it is. I'm gonna lay this out for you in a minute so you can see it better. This one's made by Pure Country Weavers. It was made in the USA, and it really seems to be, here's the label in case you're curious. It really seems to be in nice condition, high quality, beautiful colors. And so I thought, let's take that one home. Okay, then I found, this is maybe a little bit random, but I found a pile of cloth napkins in such a pretty pattern. And these were made by Waterford. So they have the Waterford label here. Now the question will be, will I find the exact person who has the matching tablecloth or something similar and needs 4 cloth napkins? I do not know, but we will find out. There was no way I was gonna leave them behind. It doesn't say what the pattern is called specifically, but I liked that at least it had the Waterford tag still on it so somebody knows for sure what they're getting. I picked up this adorable throw pillow that reminded me so much of our friends Kevin and Jackie. They have a little summer place in New Hampshire, and Kevin loves to surf. And so when I saw this little beach hut surfboards pillow, I thought they need to have this in their life. Now, I'm not sure what their decor colors are, but I thought these colors were so neutral, they should be able to work with just about anything they have. And Eric has already shared a picture with Kevin, and he loves it. So it was fun to find something that I could gift to somebody else. I found this Ralph Lauren Home throw blanket. I loved the pattern on this. I thought it was so like, I don't know, it's like cabin chic or something. It just has such nice warm vibes to it. And here's the tag. It's Ralph Lauren Home. I just loved the pattern. I just thought, like I said, it just had this sort of cabiny, cozy, sitting by the fireplace kind of feeling about it. And so I decided to pick this up. The last blanket I got, I really, really like, and it's this beauty. Look at that pattern. Isn't that stunning? I really, really love this. It's in wonderful condition, just like the others I showed you. This one has a label too, but the label is too faded to read. And that would often deter me, but I thought this pattern was so gorgeous that I picked it up and brought it home. And I'm gonna show this to you better in just a few minutes. And then randomly, I found 2 Villeroy and Bach enamelware mixing bowls. So I thought those were great. There's one little discoloration mark inside. The other one's in great shape, has the Villeroy and Bach back stamp. And I thought these were really fun. So hopefully someone will be excited to add these to their collection. I think enamelware mixing bowls always come in handy. So that was what I got. I'm in my son Zach's room right now where I'm laying out the blankets so you can get a better look at them, because of course when I hold them up you don't get a full sense. So this is of course the pretty Mexican style blanket with the green and gray and black and white designs. And what I wish I could convey to you is how soft this is, because sometimes these blankets can be kind of stiff and pretty to look at but not so comfy to use. This one is really good. Here is the next one. This tapestry I think is so beautiful. I love the colors in this. And I'm seeing some loose thread here and there, so I'll definitely be sure to point that out in my listing, but I don't think it at all detracts from how pretty this could be in the right house. This would look lovely thrown over a sofa, at the foot of somebody's bed. This could be really pretty even on a quilt rack. If you had a big bare wall space, this could be a really nice wall hanging actually. Lots of purposes for a piece like this, I think, especially if you use your imagination just a little bit. Here's the Ralph Lauren home blanket, all laid out so you can see the patterns better. And I think this is such a great look, a nice find, and I hope it finds itself in the hands of somebody who will really enjoy it. I think this one is my favorite. There's something very colonial Williamsburg about this pattern to me. And although I think this is beautiful for any time of year, I think this could be spectacular as part of somebody's Christmas decor. It would be a bit of an unexpected choice because it's not really those strictly conventional colors that we think about, the red and green. This is burgundy on white, but I think the center medallion gives a definite sort of snowflake feeling, and I think the rest kind of works from there. What do you think? Do you think this would be pretty as part of somebody's Christmas decor? Let me know in the comments. As if it wasn't already good enough, it's also completely reversible, so you can use either side if you want more of the red background or if you want more of this sort of creamy ivory background. You can decide. So there's the difference. Use the red background or the white background. Such a nice feature. These Villeroy and Bach bowls are so classic. I love the fruit theme on these, and I love the green rim. And I think they look really nice mixed in with some of my older kitchen decor pieces from my own collection. From time to time, a viewer will ask me about some of the things that I inherited from my mother, some of the home decor pieces that are especially meaningful, and asking if I would share some of those things. So I thought, since this video is going to be posting on Mother's Day, this might be the perfect time to take just a few minutes and show you some highlights, some things that she left me that I particularly treasure. It was such a joy to walk through my house and pick out some of the beautiful home decor pieces that my mother once owned to share with you. She's been gone just over 5 years now, and while nothing replaces having her here, surrounding myself with the things she loved somehow brings her a little closer. As I get older, I've come to realize that it's the memories that really matter, not the things. But since I do have some of the things, I choose to use and enjoy them just like she would have wanted. There's also quite a bit of holiday decor I'd love to show you, but it's packed away in the attic for now. I especially love the macrame Christmas tree she made by hand, her delicate Waterford and Lenox ornaments, and her sweet Easter decorations. Since this video is going up on Mother's Day, I wanted to share a short poem that means a lot to me. It's by Edna St. Vincent Millay, and it feels like the perfect tribute to my mother, who, like the poet, was a proud New Englander and, to me, the very definition of love, strength, and wisdom. The courage that my mother had went with her and is with her still. Rock from New England quarried, now granite in a granite hill. The golden brooch my mother wore, she left behind for me to wear. I have no thing I treasure more, yet it's something I could spare. Oh, if instead she'd left to me the things she took into the grave, the courage like a rock, which she has no more need of, and I have. Happy Mother's Day, my friends. I don't know if you ever wondered what it's like when I sit down to edit my videos, but this is a pretty good summary of how that goes. I'm back upstairs on the second floor. I was working in the dining room for a while and I just couldn't take the mess down there anymore. So I'm back on the second floor. Unfortunately, Wilson doesn't come up here very often and only with a lot of help, but all of the other fur babies are frequent visitors, especially Indy, who loves to jump on my lap and get full attention whenever the mood strikes him. Editing can also be a little challenging when this kind of situation pops up, and this is another very frequent one. Iris has a way of making every space her bed. And then, of course, down at my feet, we have a sleeping Licorice. Licorice is always where I am, so she's very easy to find. And she just snores away while I do all of my editing tasks. Iris is perfectly happy to share the room with whoever cares to join us here. Here's an update on the never-ending foyer second floor staircase project. It's never-ending because this space had so much damage that needed to be repaired, and Eric is still working hard at it. Lots of plaster that needed to be addressed, lots of gaps and spaces and broken pieces, lots of sanding to do. Of course, the sanding gets in the air and then we get dust all over the house. He added all of these trim pieces, which was a challenge because the wall is not level. And of course, that's how it is in an old house. There used to be a big gap here between the ceiling and that space over the doorway, so he's repaired that. And every day, pretty much, he gets a little bit more done. I cannot wait to get to the painting phase, but we're not there yet. I hope you enjoyed this thrifting video and some of the other bits and pieces that I shared with you today. I hope you're having a wonderful Mother's Day, whether you're a mother or not, whether you celebrate or not, whether this is just a Sunday for you, whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a great day. Please like this video if you liked it. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. I hope to see you next time, and bye for now.